My name is Culla. I'm a full-time working parent. I was born in Griffith and have lived here for the better part of my life. I lived away from this region for a few years, so I can actually say that I've seen how the other side lives. But a few years ago, I decided to come home with my husband and my 3 children to finally set down our roots back here with family. Having grown up on a farm and now a wage earner, I stand here before you with my husband and 3 children, compelled to stand up for my hometown and protect my family. I've asked a few friends to assist me here today to give you, Mr. Burke, and the members of the Murray-Darling Basin Authority a bit of a real insight of what will happen if this unbalanced, unfair basin plan is actually implemented. With me here today is Paul Moon, his wife Alicia and their 5 children. He is a 2nd generation farmer from Wigelli, and he has stopped his harvest this morning to be here at this meeting. Paul grows corn, soybeans, rice, wheat, barley, chickpeas, oats, and he's also got some cattle. His produce supplies Rockdale beef, Bayarda poultry and Vita soy, just to name a few. The Moons buy their farming equipment from Intersales in Leeton or A&G Machinery in Griffith. Ian and Tony from A&G are here today and they employ 238 staff across the basin wide. The Moons buy their hydraulic hoses and workshop parts and equipment from Colin Miller Engineering, who also employ 104 staff, and some of their restyle staff are here today. Paul buys his fertiliser from the Yenda Prods, or MIA Rural Services, and they sell their stocks through Spencer and Bennett. These companies employ some 80 people. Their irrigation water is supplied by Murrumbidgee Irrigation, who employ 184 staff both in Leeton and Griffith. His family get their hair cut probably at the Yenda hairdresser or here at Natalina's in Ugali, and Natalina's employ about 10 staff. They buy their meat from Johnny at the Yenda Pioneer Butchery, who's been established since 1919 and is one of the MIA's founding families. They buy and have their cars serviced at Keithgill Motors, where Warren is a 2nd generation motor dealer and employs 48 staff basin-wide. He's here today with 2 or 3 of his staff. They buy their groceries from Rossi's Family Supermarket, who employ 100 staff. When they come to town, they might pop round and see Jason and Glenn Vicari's Bakery, who employ 15 staff. They buy their clothes from Rondella's Menswear, a family business, again established 1934, have been here for quite a while and employ about 15 staff. They might drop off their tax returns to Royal Spagnolo's accountants, who employ 34 staff. They organise their banking with Rowan at Westpac here at Griffith, and Griffith branch alone employs 28 staff. After the Moons pick up their mail from the post office, they might collect the paper and grab a few scratches at Sells News Agency, who employ 15 staff. And on Saturday, when Paul finally has a little bit of time to himself, he might take the wife and the kids over to the Yenda Diggers Club and help out raise some money and support the Rotary and Apex and Can Assist for a very good cause. Their children attend one of 34 primary and secondary schools within the Murrumbidgee Valley alone, with some 7,600 other children. Mary Jane and some of her students are also here today to support us. But Paul is just one of 3,000 farmers in this community. I ask anyone else here today who is employed by any of these businesses that Paul supports, or supports these businesses or is employed by them, please stand up now. Stand up so Mr. Burke can see.
Have a look at that,
For these people that stand in front of you now, Mr. Burke, and for the thousands of people that live in this community, which is only one of many communities in the basin that will be affected by this plan, you will threaten everything that has been built up over the past 100 years since our inception in 1912. It is because of the foresight of our political leaders in the early 1900s to see the need to establish a sustainable food resource for this country that this entire area is now in existence. Should you go against this foresight, our communities will fall like a house of cards, and the rest of the country will be paying for it for decades to come. It's just that simple. Irrigators like Paul will be compensated for the water that is recovered to meet the targets set in the draft basin plan. But it is the people that you still see standing behind Paul, the butcher, the baker and the candlestick maker, who will be left behind. Within the basin, you will tear apart our families, you will close down our businesses, you will force unemployment to skyrocket, which this region has not experienced in many decades, you will force up food prices, you will cause mental health issues to skyrocket, and you will see real estate, housing and farm values plummet even further than they already have to date since this whole thing has begun. When this all hits the fan and these people are out of jobs, will you, Tony Burke, be compensating them for the loss of the value of their homes? Will you be paying for them to move to another centre, which will probably be outside the basin? Will you be assisting them to secure work? Or will you just turn around and say, sorry mate, it's not my problem? Yeah. And in closing, I've only got one thing to say. Are you going to stand up like a true Australian and a true leader and work side by side with us to ensure that this plan is balanced and fair, with the environment being looked after and the existing communities not decimated and forced to move away?